Welcome everyone to the Comic Review. My name is Eric, and today we're going to be taking a look at another one of the Rebirth specials that came out on June 1st this week. So let's go ahead and dive into Green Lanterns Rebirth #1. So as you can tell from the title of the book, this is Green Lanterns, plural, so it's not a continuation necessarily of the previous Green Lantern book. That's actually going to be over in another book, I believe, comes out either this month or next month. That's going to be Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. That one is going to be continuing everything going on with Hal Jordan, as well as the Green Lanterns that have been lost out in the space for the last year or so of storytelling. So that's what that book's going to be dealing with. This book that we're reviewing today is dealing with two of the more recent Green Lanterns from Earth that have been around. We have Simon Baz, who made his first appearance quite a few years ago in Green Lantern #0, I believe. He was chosen as a new replacement Lantern during the time, I guess, Hal was using the clone ring from Sinestro during the early days of the New 52. I believe the last time Simon was seen was during, I believe it was the Godhead storyline, God something storyline, and please forgive me for not remembering the name of the title, but it was the storyline that went through all the Green Lantern books at the time that involved the new gods, with them, trying to grab all the light and everything like that. So that's the last time I can remember Simon being seen in the books. This book also stars Jessica Cruz, who was more recently in the main Justice League book. She made her first appearance after Forever Evil, where she was the recipient of Power Ring's Power Ring. So she's in this book. She, I think during Justice League #50, she received her own Green Lantern ring. Mysteriously, the Power Ring was removed, and she received a Green Lantern ring. So she is the other half of what's, I guess, being billed as kind of like a buddy cop kind of a book coming out of DC now. So let's go ahead and dive right into the review of the issue itself. This issue starts off with some narration by a mysterious narrator. Comics and whatnot like to use certain fonts for certain people's voices. So you may recognize this character right off. If not, I'm not going to spoil it right now. We'll get to that toward the end of the issue, since it is the last page reveal as to who this narrator is. It's not Wally West. But this narrator kind of goes into a quick synopsis of the past Lanterns, which is kind of good for this kind of a book. For any of these books, they are the #1 specials introducing the characters. This kind of gives a rundown of the 4 main Lanterns that have been around previously, and this narrator's opinions on all of them, and whether or not they're a problem and everything. So it goes over Hal Jordan, it goes over John Stewart quickly, Guy Gardner, as well as Kyle Rayner. The action then shifts over to another Guardian, a mysterious lost Guardian, who is on the run from the Dominators. He is holding with him a box that has some kind of artifact or energy inside of it that he uses to help himself escape. But this mysterious narrator is saying that he wants to have possession of whatever this thing is that this Guardian has in tow. So that's kind of where we're left as far as what's going on cosmically in this book. Then we get immediately to Earth. We're introduced to both Simon and Jessica. Simon speaking with a government agent that his record of his criminal record has been expunged, as long as he gives government essentially intel on the Green Lantern Corps. We also see a little bit of Jessica, who goes into a little bit of like the social anxieties that she has had growing up all her life, that she's not even she doesn't even want to come out of her apartment, but she kind of had to. Both of them around the same time get a call on their rings that there is a mysterious ship or being coming to Earth that they have to go deal with. They both meet up, kind of have some bickering moments in there, and then all of a sudden it's revealed that there's a manhunter on the loose on Earth. So Simon is being all cocky that he's going to take care of it. Jessica tries to help out. You find out that this is actually a training exercise by Hal Jordan. He's the one who sent the Manhunter to try to do a little crash course in teamwork with both these Lanterns. And basically he finds out that these two not really working that well together. It's the first time they've met, but they're really not meshing right away. So he kind of forces them to mesh together. He combines their power batteries together, so they both have to be there to use them. And so he kind of gives a little other synopsis and other things going on, kind of setting up his book where he's has to go out to the far reaches of the galaxy to try to help the other Green Lanterns basically find their way home. So there's a little bit of setup for the other Green Lantern book in this, but it's not a major thing. So we now have, like I said, we've been introduced to these two lanterns. We're also shown something else in this issue that sets up another book. When Hal goes to leave to go in to search for the other lanterns, he lets the Simon and Jessica know that due to the lanterns not being there, they're going to have to get their training some other way. So he kind of dumps them off on the JLA satellite. And quickly, I don't know if it was like what kind of weird introductions were done, but they basically, this is kind of setting up their introduction into the Justice League, which comes out, I want to say in July, offhand, but so we're definitely being set up all across the board for multiple books in this one. This isn't just setting up essentially a Green Lantern book, but it's also but it's setting up two different Green Lantern books. They're going to be telling two different stories, as well as these characters' interaction in Justice League. So that's pretty cool that we're getting all this. And I do like the one part of the art here where we didn't see Superman. There's a splash page of the various Justice League members. You see Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, I think Cyborg's in there as well. But we don't see Superman, which is good because that's probably going to be another thing set up in that book is Superman's introduction into the Justice League, as he is the pre-Flashpoint Superman. So a lot of different things setting up, but the book does everything at a good pace, and nothing to me really seemed forced. I mean, Hal kind of like gets in there and leaves pretty quickly. It's not like he went through like a months-long training montage. He kind of did just come in. It was like, oh, you guys aren't really working together on this very first thing that I had you do, so let's go ahead and put your batteries together and go. But I mean, I guess this book could have done with like a maybe like a training montage, a couple pages. However, I do see what they're trying to set up with this is they're going to have two lanterns who are kind of at odds with each other, being forced to work together. So like kind of having to learn the ropes as they go. Simon admittedly having a little bit more experience than Jessica in the matter, but I do kind of see what they're trying to do with having to rush their first meeting, essentially, because I guess if you did do like a training montage thing, some of their back and forth chemistry would probably go away in this. So Hal says his goodbyes to these two lanterns in training. He pretty much dumps them off again at the JLA satellite, and then we kind of see who the narrator of the story is, and we find out it's actually Atrocious, leader of the Red Lanterns. So basically one of the main threats, he's basically talking about how there was a Blackest Night, and then there was a Brightest Day, and now we're coming into the Red Dawn. So it's what Atrocious believes is the next step in the Lantern mythos, I guess. So look for him to be in the Green Lanterns book coming out in 2 weeks. Is going to be the first issue. I believe that would probably be June 15th. So be on the lookout for that. I'm not sure how much interaction Atrocious is going to have with the characters starting off, but look for him to be in that book if you're wanting to get your Red Lantern fix. Overall, this book was pretty good. Some timeline issues kind of step in here. As far as looking at this book as a introduction to new readers to these characters, this book to me did its job. You got introduced to Simon, you got introduced to Jessica, get a little backstory on them. It was enough for me, looking as a new reader, to be engaged with the book. I'm definitely going to check out the series proper, at least the first few issues, see how the book gets going and everything. And also looking forward to Atrocious coming back. As a long-time reader, I kind of get a little muddled on some timeline issues because I know that Like I said, Hal was at one point the leader of the Lantern Corps. Then he decided to become a renegade. We don't have Guardians, but we do have Guardians. You know, because I mean, even in the Justice League books, which take place before that, it's like, you know, when we're first introduced to Jessica, it's like, okay, well, even though over here the Lanterns are lost, but in Darkseid War, they're, you know, they're here because I know John Stewart and some of the other Lanterns show up during that storyline. So it's kind of just figuring out where this book takes place as opposed to other books. I'm assuming that the order of operations for this is that Darkseid War happens, and then we have to go backwards all the way to Hal Jordan being a renegade. The Green Lantern books have always been really weird for me. I don't know why. And if somebody in the comments wants to point me in the right direction, I guess go ahead. But the Green Lantern books, the entirety of the New 52, have been the ones that have been, to me, the hardest to place continuity-wise. Going into the New 52, it was one of the only books that like kept all of its continuity and all its storylines from pre-Flashpoint. So it's like you had to read everything pre-Flashpoint, go into New 52, and then timeline stuff still didn't mash up, which is really weird because main architect Jeff Johns wrote Justice League and Green Lantern for the beginning of it, and it's still, some things were still kind of muddled because you had Green Lantern, Hal Jordan fully powered, but yet over in Green Lantern, he was using a cloned ring from Sinestro. So the timeline of Green Lantern has always confused me. So hopefully, starting here with Rebirth, we kind of have a more coherent timeline going forward. Forget about past stuff going on. This is what the timeline is going to be from now on. So, you know, if you can figure out the previous timeline, I'm sure DC will give you no prize, even though it's a Marvel thing, whatever. So, but overall, the main job of this book was to capture new readers, was to get the attention of new readers. And if you're looking at this book solely from a new reader standpoint, I think it did its job. If you're looking at it as a long-time reader, yes, there are some, to me, timeline issues that from all the previous series leading up to this that don't make sense. But if you just take this issue as it is, this was a very, very good read. So let me know what you thought about this issue. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Are you looking forward to the direction of this book as far as the Rebirth era goes? And for the love of God, can someone give me a timeline for Green Lantern? Because it's getting a little muddy, for me at least. Maybe it's because I need to go take a second, third read through all those books. But if anybody wants to help me out with a quick synopsis, that would be great. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to go ahead and give the video a like and subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. And if you guys want to take a look at the other Rebirth #1 specials, you can do that up here in the corner. We'll have a link to the playlist for all the other Rebirth #1 specials. So take a look at that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Later.